Hello and welcome to this Prepare for IELTS Part 1 speaking video. In this video, we'll look at this topic, sky and stars. So these are the kinds of questions that they might ask you for this topic. We'll go through the language in the answers, and then there's a quiz at the end of the video, so please stay and watch that. Let's take a look. Yes, I guess I do. So sometimes in IELTS Speaking they ask you questions and they're things that you've never really thought about before. Do you like to look at the sky? I've never actually thought about this question. So I'm saying yes, I guess I do. Yes, I guess I do. I'm not into means I'm not really interested in. I'm not into. Astronomy means studying objects in space, so studying the moon, the stars, and the sky. Astronomy. An astrophile. Words that end in phile usually mean a lover of something. An astrophile, you're a lover of the stars and the sky. An astrophile. Spectacular. Remember to use more complex adjectives rather than nice, great, good. Spectacular. If you gaze at something, you look at it for a long time, usually because you're surprised or you're admiring it, you really like it. To gaze at something. A storm is brewing. This is an idiomatic expression that we can also use when there is going to be maybe an argument between people. A storm is brewing means that there is going to be a storm. A storm is brewing. Do you like to look at the sky? Yes, I guess I do. I'm not into astronomy or an astrophile, but if the sky is looking spectacular, then I like to gaze at it. For example, if it's a dark sky when a storm is brewing. I'm in two minds. This is a really useful phrase when you can't decide between two things. I'm in two minds, so I can't decide whether it's yes or no. I'm in two minds. Another very useful phrase for IELTS Speaking because you often talk about travel. My bucket list, and this is a list of things that you want to do before you die. My bucket list. And here we've got a great second conditional, and it's also got the passive in it. If I was given the opportunity to go into space, then it would be difficult to turn it down. To turn it down, to say no. Would you like to travel to outer space? I'm in two minds about this. It's not something on my bucket list, and I have a fear of flying, but if I was given the opportunity to go into space, then it would be difficult to turn it down. Another great phrase for IELTS Speaking, because you're often trying to remember things from the past. I have a vague memory of. I have a vague memory of. And this means I can remember it a little bit, but it's very unclear. I have a vague memory of. When I was growing up, you need to try to get past continuous or any continuous tenses in your answers to impress the IELTS examiner. This is a great one to learn and just try to use during the test. When I was growing up. I can't recall much though. I can't remember much. Have you ever learnt about the stars or space? I have a vague memory of studying the stars and space when I was growing up. It might have been when I was in primary school. I can't recall much though. Cloudy. That means there are lots of clouds in the sky. Overcast is very similar. There are lots of clouds in the sky, but you need to show the IELTS examiner that you have a wide vocabulary. Cloudy, overcast. When it's overcast, it often looks like it's going to rain. Obviously not, meaning just clearly not, or no. Obviously not. A clear night, there are no clouds in the sky. A clear night. Can you see the moon and stars at night where you live? Well, it depends on what the weather is like. If it is cloudy or overcast, then obviously not. However, if it is a clear night with no clouds, then the moon and stars can be clearly seen. A great word for IELTS speaking and writing. Climate. This means the weather. Climate. A really good phrase here for IELTS speaking. Off the top of my head. Because often you are asked questions and you haven't got time to give them lots of thought and think about them very much before you give the answer. Off the top of my head. So without thinking about this very much. Off the top of my head. I can't list them. If you list something, you make a list of them. To list. Do you think it's important to study the stars? Oh yes, absolutely. The sun and the moon are stars, and studying them helps us to understand the Earth's climate and how it affects the weather. I'm sure there are other reasons, but off the top of my head, I can't list them. Okay, let's do the quiz now. How can we say the study of objects in space? Astronomy. Astronomy. Which phrasal verb means to say no? To turn it down. To turn it down. How can we say lots of clouds in the sky? Overcast. Overcast. How can we say a list of things I want to do? My bucket list. My bucket list. How can we say to have an unclear memory of something? To have a vague memory of. So you can say, I have a vague memory of studying this in primary school. A vague memory. How can we say I'm unable to choose between two things? I'm in two minds. I'm in two minds. How can we say without careful thought or investigation? Off the top of my head. Off the top of my head. How can we say to look at something for a long time in surprise or admiration? To gaze at. To gaze at. How can we say a lover of the stars? An astrophile. An astrophile. And finally, how can we say weather? Climate. Climate.